There is a recall for broccoli sold at Walmart that could be contaminated with listeria.
You're trying to eat healthy, grabbing that broccoli, tossing some spinach in your cart, maybe reaching for a pre-cut veggie tray to save time. Seems smart, right? What if I told you that some of those vegetables might be weeks old, and soaked in chlorine? Or worse, crawling with bugs before you even bring them home. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This is your local grocery store where the word fresh is often just a sticker. And what's really happening behind the scenes might make you think twice about tonight's salad. Let's peel back the layers, literally, and take a closer look at what's hiding in plain sight. Walmart, where cheap comes at a cost. We'll start with the biggest name in the game, Walmart. Walk in for toothpaste and socks. Leave with a cart full of groceries. It's convenient. It's affordable. And for many families, it's the go-to store for everything, including produce. But behind those neatly stacked displays is a system driven by low prices at any cost. Former Walmart produce workers have painted a disturbing picture. Wilted lettuce arriving in boxes already turning brown. Outer leaves slimy and rotting. The solution? Peel them off, spray what's left with water, and make it look good enough to sell. And those budget-friendly bags of spinach? They may have been picked in another state over a week ago, trucked for days, stored in a backroom cooler, or not cooled at all, and then placed on the shelf like it just came from the farm. Cleanliness? Not exactly a top priority. A North Carolina shopper snapped a photo of a cabbage bin crawling with gnats. And in another state, a child was seen licking multiple tomatoes, while store staff ignored it for over 3 minutes. That same bin refilled later that day without being cleaned. Labels can be just as misleading. Some stores were caught falsely marking imported vegetables as locally grown. Not only is that deceptive, it can be dangerous. Imported produce might have been sprayed with chemicals banned in the US or rinsed with untreated water. Bottom line, you might be saving money at checkout, but it could cost you more than you think. Safeway looks upscale, acts low grade. Now let's step into Safeway, a store that tries to convince you it's more refined. Dim lights, tidy rows, and price tags that quietly scream, "You forgot to check the receipt." But under the surface, it's not nearly as polished. Insiders use a term called rotation theater. It means older, sadder produce gets placed on top of the newer stock. So when you think you're reaching for today's shipment, you're likely just grabbing last week's leftovers with a side of regret. One former employee shared a now viral image of bell peppers covered in mold being wiped clean with paper towels before going back on the shelves. When asked why, the manager shrugged and said, "If the customer doesn't touch it, they won't know." Multiple locations have also failed temperature checks, like storing fruit cups at bacteria breeding temperatures. In one California store, when the produce cooler broke down, they just moved everything into the flour fridge and hoped for the best. And those refreshing misters that make lettuce glisten, the pipes behind them haven't been cleaned in months at some stores. A Safeway worker confessed the smell from opening the back valve was like, quote, "mildew exhaling." Doesn't exactly make you want to eat your greens, does it? Kroger behind the colorful curtain. Now on to Kroger, another heavyweight in the grocery world. Their produce section might look cheerful and colorful, but former workers say it's all a performance. Like, they shared stories of bananas arriving mushy, strawberries already molding, and tomatoes soft enough to bounce. The fix? Spray them with lemon water to fake freshness. That pre-cut veggie tray. It may have been assembled before the store even opened, then left in the back room for hours, or skipped refrigeration altogether if the fridges were full. Mislabeling is also a problem. Multiple audits found foreign imports labeled as locally grown. One customer bought what they thought was local zucchini, only to find a shipping label from Guatemala stuck to the bottom. And it gets worse. One shopper in Ohio filmed flies crawling on bell peppers. Another in Georgia discovered rodent droppings near the back cooler, found by a customer, not the staff. In Kroger's case, it's not just about freshness, it's about what they're willing to let slide. Food Lion, the illusion of value. Food Lion markets itself as budget-friendly and easy. But when it comes to produce, the fresh part of their slogan might be the biggest illusion of all. Smaller sections mean it's harder to hide aging vegetables. A shopper in Virginia posted a photo of celery so dry it had turned gray at the base. Still, there it was, marked Manager's Special. Bulk deliveries only come once or twice a week. One whistleblower said their store's backroom cooler was often so full, crates of vegetables were stored in the hallway without refrigeration. And what happens when items expire? They get chopped, repackaged, and renamed. Old tomatoes become salsa. Wilted greens become a stir-fry mix. One deli employee admitted, "If it can be chopped, we use it, even if it's slimy. Just trim the edges." Customers have also shared horror stories. Coleslaw bags with live bugs. Bags of carrots turning to mush days before the expiration date. And displays made from rough, porous materials that rarely get sanitized. You're not just buying produce, you might be buying last week's leftovers with a shiny new label. Giant, big name, small oversight. Next up is Giant, where the produce department may look pristine until you look closer. A former employee revealed that staff were instructed to build towers of produce, using the freshest items on top and the oldest ones hidden underneath. Why? To make displays look full and colorful. But that tomato in the middle of the stack might have been there all week. Customers have found unreadable sell-by dates on packages, bags of spinach that turned black within 48 hours, and condensation trapped inside plastic-wrapped veggie trays, an early warning sign of bacterial growth. In 2022, a Maryland location had to toss out hundreds of pounds of produce after a fruit fly infestation spread from the bananas to the leafy greens. But not before customers had the chance to buy some of that infested stock. The root problem: training. One insider admitted most new hires receive less than 2 hours of instruction before being left alone to manage the entire produce section. That's not a department. That's a disaster waiting to happen. Family Dollar, you'll want to skip this aisle. And finally, Family Dollar. Yes, some locations stock fruits and vegetables, but fresh is not the word most people would use. In 2023, the chain made national headlines when inspectors found rodents, feces, and urine inside a central warehouse that supplied food to over 400 stores. Even after the scandal, customers continued to report foul smells, expired produce, and vegetables sold weeks past their labeled date. In some stores, refrigeration isn't even available. One employee said, "If the air conditioning goes out, we keep selling unless it smells." Some stores reuse old inventory if fresh deliveries don't arrive. Soft potatoes get dusted off, shriveled onions relabeled, and moldy bell peppers repackaged with a fresh sticker. And this doesn't just happen in rural towns. Many of these practices are most common in low-income communities, where customers have fewer options and little transparency. It's not just negligence, it's exploitation. What you can do. So, what can you actually do about this? The truth is, the safest, cleanest, and most nutritious vegetables are not guaranteed by brand names, logos, or fluorescent signs screaming organic. Those are distractions. Here's what really helps. Snap the stem of that broccoli. If it bends instead of breaking, it's old. Smell the leaves. If they smell sour, they're rotting. Check the bottom of that salad bag. If you see moisture, skip it. It's a bacteria breeding ground. Avoid produce drenched in mist or overly shiny. Often, that's just a trick to mask aging food. And if you see something wrong, say something. Report it. Take a photo. Share it. These grocery giants won't change until customers demand it. Don't be fooled by the word fresh. You deserve better than a mystery salad that spoils 2 hours after you buy it. Every time you reject that soggy carrot bag, every time you leave a buggy lettuce bin untouched, you're sending a message that can't be ignored. A message that ripples through the aisles up to the corporate offices and straight to the food suppliers. Because food isn't just about price or convenience. It's about trust. And once that trust is broken, even a 99-cent deal isn't worth the stomachache. So look closer, ask questions, and don't let the word fresh fool you ever again. If this made you rethink what's in your fridge, hit like, tap subscribe, and share this video with someone who still thinks organic means safe. Because in today's grocery world, what you don't know could make you sick. See you on the next video.